Food, Faith, and Fortunes. My name is Alexis, and this is how to pick a watermelon and a couple of ways to cut a watermelon, part 2. And if you watched part 1, and I think I might just leave the video up, because if you watch the silent video, it's only 4 minutes long, but if you watch the silent video to the end, all the way through, it's kind of funny. But there was no sound on the video. So this is part 2. He knows that this is a watermelon, and he loves watermelon, so he is anxiously waiting for me to cut this watermelon, and the other 2 are over here, and they are also waiting for watermelon. So, how to pick a watermelon? Let's start with the stripes. First, actually, kudos and credits to my dad. My dad is the one who taught me how to pick a watermelon, so this is the only way I know how, this is why, the only reason I know how to do this. The stripes need to connect. They need to go all the way across. They don't need to be, right here and then another one starts right here. They need to connect. They need to go all the way across, okay? The other thing you want to look for is the spot where the melon sat on the ground and it's yellow or it's bare. It's the ugly spot, right? On this would be the bottom of the watermelon. This means that it sat and it ripened. If it doesn't have this, then that means it didn't sit long enough to ripen, okay? Another way is you look for where it was picked. So the stem, where it was picked from the vine. If this is green, that means that it was picked too soon and it didn't have time to ripen. If this is brown, that means that it did ripen, okay? And what? Oh, bring it like that. There we go. Okay, and then this is another sign. It's heavy, okay? This is heavy, and that means it's full of water, okay? You don't want a watermelon that's light to pick up. If it's heavy, then that means it's a good watermelon. And then also, if you knock on it, it needs to have a deep thump. Or if you smack it, you can play drums on it, but it needs to have a deep smack instead of a high-pitched smack. Compare them when you're in the store and you're knocking on it and you look dumb, right? But that's what, like, everybody's knocking on their melons, okay? So pick the one that has the deeper sounding thump. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. You can't smell it. You can smell cantaloupe and you can smell peaches and stuff like that. Don't smell the watermelon. You look dumb, okay? All right. I have a towel right here there's another pup. I have a towel right here that I am going to cut the watermelon on for 2 reasons. One, it's going to release a lot of water, okay? And so that's going to make it easier to clean up. But 2, when I cut the watermelon, I'm going to cut it slice side down. And if I do that on the countertop, it's going to slide everywhere, okay? And I don't want to do that. I don't want it to slide. I want it to stay still. But you don't want to cut it on paper towels because you're going to rip up the paper towels and it's going to be a big mess. So I'm cutting it on a towel that I don't care about it getting stained, right? It's a dark colored towel, all right? I have 3 kinds of knives right here. You do you, whatever you want to do. So I use this one for initially cutting it open, and then I use the sharper tip knives for the rest of the cutting. Okay, and these are Henckels. These are Henckels knives, and they are crazy sharp. Like, I'm good in the kitchen, and I cut myself all the time with Henckels knives. Okay, so this is a good brand. Usually I cut this way. For the purposes of this, however, no, wait a minute. You're seeing me thinking, hang on. No, I was gonna cut it this way, but no. Oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it the normal way. Straight in with the tip, okay? With the tip, and then all the way down. All the way down. And you see, I cut through the center. Wouldn't it be terrible if I told you all of those ways to pick a watermelon and then this one came out like not red? I hope that's not the case. Well, it's pink, but now you can smell it. Smells good. All right. So I'm going to set this one aside. And now I'm going to cut I didn't cut, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but I didn't cut all the way to the edge. What I did was I made an indentation a little past the center, and then I cut all the way this way, okay? Oh, here he comes. Not yet. Give me a minute. He's just standing there. So because the edge, it was this part, because this part is not cut, it keeps the whole thing together and keeps everything from sliding. And now I'm going to turn it this way, and then I'm going to turn it this way and do this side. And I'm going to do it the opposite direction. The longer cuts while it's the longer cuts, while it is mostly cut, will be easier if it's if you do it first and then do the shorter cuts last. And just don't go all the way to the edges. If you don't go all the way to the edges, then it'll stay together. And you're not going to eat the very edges, you know, anyway. All right. So now, ta-da. Ta-da. Jack. Are you a good boy, Jack? Sit. Good girl, Crystal. You know what? Oh, do I have to break it for you? Okay. All right, the next thing is I need to get another towel. I need to get another towel. Should have already had that out. Actually, wait a second. I don't have to dirty up another towel. Okay, the next one. This one's pretty cool. I like this one. Take the sharp one. Or the pointy, take the pointy one, okay? And then about an inch, about an inch to an inch and a half, right? So there you go. And not all the way to the edge, but about right there, right? Almost to the edge. Go in and slice all the way across. And go in pretty deep. But don't go all the way to the edge, okay? And then go about an inch and a half above, not all the way to the edge. Not all the way to the edge. And then about, again, not all the way to the edge. Not all the way to the edge. And turn it around, and you do the same thing on the other side. About an inch and a half up, all the way in, all the way across. And go up 1.5 inches. And it's not, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just, again, this is just making your life simple right here. And then the very, don't go all the way, right? But you go in deep. And you don't go all the way to the edge. Then you flip it over. It's all still in one piece. Then take your thinner knife and you go all around the edge. And then slice it down the middle. Slice it in stripes. And then turn it and slice it in stripes. This is my favorite way to cut a watermelon. Now for the best part. You have a bowl full of watermelon. And you have some more in there that you can take out. Oh, that's pretty sweet. And it's going to be even better when it's refrigerated. Not bad. So, I know this video was a little longer. I hope that you enjoyed the tricks, the hack, the tips. Trying to think if there's anything I forgot. I don't think there's anything I forgot. Okay. My cameraman was trying to tell me something and I wasn't picking it up. So thank you very much for watching and have a good day. Thank you.